Hello and welcome to BNEWS Weekly. I'm Linda McNamee, in for Phil Gallagher. A Burlington teen is facing charges in New Hampshire after allegedly causing an accident while racing that killed a Somerville police officer. Michael Ritchie, 18, of Burlington, was arrested Sunday and charged with felony reckless conduct after allegedly causing an accident on Interstate 95 in Northampton, New Hampshire. New Hampshire State Police say witnesses reported that Ritchie was racing other drivers while operating a Mercedes-Benz. Police say he drove over the center lane and struck off-duty Somerville officer Louis Remigio, who was riding a motorcycle. Remigio, a Tewksbury resident, was rushed to an area hospital and was in critical condition. Late Monday night, Officer Remigio succumbed to his injuries and passed, leaving behind 2 adult daughters. His remains were transported home by a full police escort. He had been with the Somerville Police Department for 30 years and most recently had served in the department's traffic unit. Over his multi-decade tenure, Officer Remigio received multiple awards for service to the community, including 2 life-saving awards, a Meritorious Service Award, a Beyond the Call of Duty Award, and numerous commendations both by his colleagues and by community members. After his arrest, Ritchie posted the $10,000 bail and returned to his Burlington home. However, on Tuesday, the Burlington Police Department arrested him again on a warrant related to a previous charge out of Lowell Juvenile Court. Ritchie is scheduled to be in court on the charges related to the accident on October 20th. The Burlington School Committee has decided to delay a planned vote on changing the Burlington High School start time to 8:30 a.m. for a couple of weeks. The committee said at a recent meeting that it was planning on taking the vote during its October 24th meeting. However, after meeting with parents during 4 community forums last week and hearing their concerns, the group decided that it needed to gather more information before taking a vote. Some of the biggest concerns raised by parents were about impacts the change would have on scheduling, both at the high school and at the other schools. There were multiple parents of elementary school students who were unhappy that the move to a later start time at the high school pushed the start times at the middle school and elementary schools to earlier in the morning. Superintendent Eric Conti said it was difficult to avoid impacting the other grades if the town wanted to keep the same number of buses and the same number of busing tiers it has now. Each additional bus, he said, would cost the town roughly $57,000 a year. Parents at the forum also raised concerns about the impact the later start time would have on after-school activities. The fear is that even now, when students get out at 2 p.m., they are often waiting for buses to take them to sporting events that go well into the evening. Also, music and theater rehearsals take up a lot of time. The concern is that with the last bell ringing at 3:05 p.m., these activities would be pushed even later. Conti said that he is in discussion with Athletic Director Sean Hart and Performing Arts Director John Middleton Cox about what impact they thought the later school start times would have on their programs, and that they would be available to speak to the school committee at its October 24th meeting. He also said it was possible that the wait for buses to get to games would be reduced under the new plan because there would be less of a crunch in the busing schedule. Still, with these and some other concerns unresolved, and with Hart and Middleton Cox coming to the next meeting, the members of the school committee decided to hold off the vote. They said they would await new information in 2 weeks and possibly vote on November 14th. There's a new high-tech life sciences business in town. This week, MilliporeSigma held a ribbon-cutting ceremony at its new location on the Summit property on Wheeler Road. BNews Director Rich Hosford was there and has this report.
There was a lot of activity on Wednesday up on the summit of Wheeler Road as local and state officials joined with business leaders and scientific thinkers to unveil the campus of Burlington's newest life science company. It was the ribbon cutting for MilliporeSigma's Burlington building, the German-based company's latest project. Many were in attendance, including Governor Charlie Baker, who hailed the project and called it the result of cooperation between government and business.
Yeah, this is just another great example collaborative effort between local government, local community, the Commonwealth of Mass, the Life Science Center, and a truly great company that's been part of the fabric of Massachusetts for many years, Millipore. And having MilliporeSigma and its parent, Merck, having MilliporeSigma and its parent company create this learning lab here to serve customers is just a big statement about the importance of Massachusetts, and especially about the importance of all of Massachusetts in serving and supporting the life science community.
So what does MilliporeSigma do?
So MilliporeSigma is a company of Merck KGaA, Hampshire, Germany. MilliporeSigma is in the life science tools field. That means we produce everything from making biotech products, and we produce machines and reagents for researchers in the lab.
One of the largest suppliers of lab chemicals and reagents and processing equipment, and you're standing in our M Lab, which showcases all our processing equipment. Anytime you worked in a lab, you would have used the chemicals we make, you would have used the reagents that we've made. Anytime you worked in a production environment, you would have used our bioreactors and our systems. So that's the type of thing we make. All scientists globally can access our products. We have an e-commerce site, sigmaaldrich.com. About 80 million people visit the site. We ship roughly 15 to 20,000 packages a day to many of these researchers globally. And from a bioprocessing standpoint, any medicinal drug, any biologic that is made today is using our equipment.
The theme of the event was Problem Solvers, reflecting the company's mission to both tackle big problems and to make available the resources for other researchers to progress scientific and medical knowledge. I wanted to know what some of the big challenges MilliporeSigma was working on.
2 or 3 that are relevant these days are in the news. One of them is gene editing. We have some of the foundational patents on cutting and replacing the genome for gene editing. And we are really proud of that. We're very proud of our scientists who did that research early on. But it's important because it provides access to many of the researchers globally who want access to this gene editing technology. Cell therapy is another one. Cell therapy is an area which has advanced rapidly. Rare diseases have been addressed with that therapy.
A very important area is gene therapy or cell-based therapy. These are novel therapies used to treat different forms of cancers. How can we make production a lot more efficient, cheaper? How can we expand this into other forms of treating more forms of cancer? That would be an example.
So what attracted MilliporeSigma to Burlington in the first place?
Well, you know, we have several thousand employees, almost 10,000 employees in the U.S. Many of them are in the greater Boston area. We also have a big presence in St. Louis, Missouri. We're in Savannah, Georgia, and we're on the West Coast. When it comes to medical scientific research, greater Boston is the place to be. This is where the science of the future is being defined. So anybody who wants to be an important player in this area needs to be in Boston.
The executives at the company said they have felt very welcome in Burlington and the state as a whole.
The town has been terrifically cooperative. I mean, I must really give kudos to the governor and his office, Jay Ash in his office, and the town of Burlington for helping us build this facility. It's been a highly collaborative process. As you can see, it's quite a large footprint. There's about 1,000 people working in the building. It creates somehow a magnet for science, and we have heard nothing but good things.
So the partnership with the public sector, with the communities, with the state is very, very good. They've helped us. To remove barriers. We've developed this building in record time, and we are a very, very happy and proud citizen here.
Finally, Governor Baker said this project is a good reflection on the town and on Massachusetts.
Well, first of all, you can't get this stuff done if you don't have good relationships with local government, and the town of Burlington's done a really nice job of making it possible for companies like this to grow and expand here. The other thing I would say is that this is a great example of how we can all work together to continue to build on what I think everybody would agree is a world-renowned life science community here in the Commonwealth of Mass. And whether it's in Burlington or it's in Worcester or it's in the Merrimack Valley or in Boston, we have life science capacity literally all over the place. And I think that's a real statement about the quality of the people we have, in addition to the quality of the companies.
At the MilliporeSigma Burlington campus, I'm BNEWS Director Rich Hosford.
Thank you, Rich. A popular series of musical performances has been canceled for the year, but may not be gone forever. Superintendent of Schools Eric Conti announced recently that the Burlington concert series, funded by the school department, was being discontinued. At Tuesday night's school committee meeting, he said the reason is that while undergoing an audit of the school's finances, the auditor questioned the use of school funds for the concerts. He said that when the final audit report arrives, he expects that it will suggest the school no longer use its revolving account to pay for the performances. Rather, he thinks the auditor will say town meeting should pony up the funds, as the series is for the community at whole rather than specifically for students. Conti said he canceled the shows for the year because they were about to book the performers and he didn't want to get into a situation where the school department used funds in contradiction to the suggestion of the auditor. Conti did say it was possible the schools could work with the town by offering the use of its facilities to hold the concerts. It remains to be seen whether town meeting will take up the issue for next year. Over 500,000 child car seats are being recalled. On Thursday, the U.S. National Highway Traffic Safety Administration sent out a notice of a recall of over 500,000 car seats made by the company Diano. The recall covers the Radian R100, Radian R120, Radian RXT, Olympia, Pacifica, and Rainier convertible and booster seats. They were made from as early as January of 2014 to September of this year by Diano, which used to be called Sunshine Kids Juvenile. The reason for the recall is that when the seats are secured using a lap belt without the top tether, children over 65 pounds have an increased risk of chest injury in a crash. Diano says it has no reports of injuries and that few children who weigh more than 65 pounds will harness into the seats. The problem was discovered in company testing. The company will send owners a kit with an energy-absorbing pad and a new chest clip at no cost. The recall is expected to start on November 22nd. Customers with questions can call Diano at 855-463-4666. On September 13th, Hanscom Air Force Base held an expo where town officials and business leaders got a chance to see some of the work they do at the base. BNEWS reporter Robert Paris was there to check it out and has this report.
Local officials were recently invited to learn what it means to aim high, fly, fight, and win, the slogan of the U.S. Air Force. On Wednesday, September 13th, local town officials and business leaders were invited to an expo at Hanscom Air Force Base in Bedford. The expo was a way to show communities some of the work they do and what they are developing at Hanscom.
So this week we're celebrating the 70th anniversary of the Air Force, and with that we wanted to have an event where we could invite some of our local civic leaders, industry, academia to come out and see what it is that we do here at Hanscom and to really showcase some of the efforts that we have going on here.
The Hanscom Air Force Base has been around for more than 75 years.
Hanscom has a really deep history starting back all the way from World War II. We were the Electronic Systems Center, and right now we support the Air Force Life Cycle Management Center. And we have 3 directorates here that provide a lot of warfighting capability around the world on a daily basis, and we have an incredible force here that puts good capability out to our warfighters.
There were a variety of military topics for the community to learn about at the expo.
What we try to do is explain the different organizations that exist here. So for instance, the 66 Air Base Group is here primarily to support the base itself and ensure that we can operate an Air Force base and support the different people that live and work in our community. And what we did was we had some presentations by our program executive offices here at Hanscom, and they're showing off some of the different programs that they have fielded across the military, the DoD, and primarily the Air Force, for our combat operators to be able to do their jobs more efficiently.
Superintendent of Burlington Schools, Dr. Eric Conti, got an opportunity to spend the day at Hanscom.
I'm always amazed. I have a tremendous amount of confidence. I have a growing appreciation always for the men and women who serve in our armed forces and just their preparedness, their caring of the country, and we all sort of benefit from that. And just, again, this is a place I've probably driven by my entire life and just have never stopped and been invited in and taken advantage to see what's here. So it's just, that's what I've learned, is what an impressive place. It's a community unto itself and in a lot of different ways, but what a caring and knowledgeable group of people. And I hope we can find more opportunities to work with Hanscom or have some of our students come over.
Finally, Colonel Hund and Major Speed hope the community took something away from their visit at the base.
I think one of the primary takeaways that I think our local leadership will get a better understanding of is the impact that we have from Hanscom across the entire spectrum of operations in the Air Force, whether that's in space, with our fighters, bombers. It really doesn't matter what the mission set is, cyber missions especially. The Hanscom Air Force Base community has an impact on all of that.
It's really just about showing off what it is we do. We're proud of the work that we do here at Hanscom, and being able to bring people in the local community here to showcase that is just an incredible opportunity and something we really look forward to.
From Hanscom Air Force Base, I'm Robert Paris for BNEWS Weekly.
Thank you, Robert. There's a new place in town for pizza lovers. Jack's CoalFired Pizza has opened its first location here in Burlington at 2 Wall Street, in the same building as Thames Macau, formerly Paparazzi. Jack's CoalFired Pizza serves handcrafted pizzas, pastas, and wings baked in the restaurant's coal-fired and wood-fired ovens. The 6,000 square foot restaurant is designed to seat 140 people and has a max of high and low top tables, large booths, and bar seating. The glass dining room accordion doors also open to a 56-seat covered patio featuring both heaters and air conditioning. The restaurant also has an open concept kitchen for anyone who wants to watch the food being prepared. The menu features a variety of 16-inch and 12-inch wood-fired pies, as well as a selection of starters, pastas, and salads. The restaurant serves nearly 40 craft and local beers, as well as a variety of wine and specialty cocktails. Join fellow Burlington residents to celebrate an important Indian holiday. On October 15th, there will be a Diwali Celebration event hosted by the Indian American for Burlington organization on the town common from 3 to 6 p.m. Indian Americans for Burlington said it is excited to celebrate the Festival of Lights, Diwali, for the very first time in Burlington Town Common. Diwali is the most popular festival among all Indians. It spiritually signifies the victory of light over darkness, good over evil, knowledge over ignorance, and hope over despair. The festivity will include dance programs, yoga for all, competition, games, a henna booth, and a street play depicting the story of Lord Rama. The gazebo will be decorated to represent how everyone decorates their homes with lights, rangolis, and colorful ornament. There will be vendors and food stalls for shopping Indian clothes and to give participants a chance to enjoy a taste of Indian food. We now go to BNews meteorologist Peter Brown in our weather center for the latest forecast.
Well, hello everyone, and this is Peter Brown with a look at your weather for the next 7 days. And I hope you've been enjoying this real feel of summer that we've been having. We've been having temperatures in the 70s to near 80 over the past couple of weeks, so that's really something amazing, especially talking about October. But looking at the start of our period, yes, we are starting out on Friday the 13th, and maybe unfortunately for those of us who are superstitious, but we're going to be starting out with actually some pretty nice temperatures. Still a little bit above average, no surprise with how this fall has been going. And be starting out on Friday in the mid-60s and seeing our lows in the mid-40s. So still fairly pleasant if you have to be out, say, later at night after sunset. So a little bit of ways from this chilly 40 that is usually our average low for this time of the year. And of course, as we get towards the end of the period, look at this, getting into almost the third week of October. Our high average temperatures are only in the 50s, and we're going to see temperatures that are going to be actually fairly average for most of the week coming up, so that's going to be a little bit of a change. And of course, as you notice right here, the days keep getting shorter and shorter, that's for sure. So we're losing more and more of that sunlight, and that's contributing, of course, to our cooler temperatures as we head on through the rest of the fall. Now, as we move ahead, I'm going to show you a little bit of what's going to be going on with our weather for the next 7 days. And if you really like the sunshine and you don't like the rain, this is going to be really the forecast for you coming up here. Right here in the Burlington area, next 7 days or so, we're going to see pretty tranquil weather, actually a lot different than what we usually see in the middle of the fall. We're going to see this high-pressure center that's going to be centered off of New England, and that's going to be bringing in a little bit warmer and maybe a little bit touch more humid air as we get into the weekend. But once we get by the weekend, we're going to see this cold front come through. It's going to be fairly potent, so it's going to bring some much cooler weather in here, and when I say much cooler, meaning more seasonable weather, and bringing some pretty chilly nights. But other than that, really this weekend, maybe some spotty showers, maybe a thunderstorm as we get into Thursday, into Sunday as we get in and we have this cold front moving towards us. After that, we're going to see temperatures again going back down into the 60s. So some pretty nice weather, though, that's for sure. No heavy rain, no snow, that's for sure. So nice weather coming up. Now, as we go ahead, I'm going to show you a little bit about a graphic that we haven't actually had to show much this year. This is our drought monitor, actually, and we haven't had to show this much because it's been such a wet year. However, if you've noticed out there, your grass is probably a little bit dry, the bark mulch and everything, especially around here in the Burlington area. Haven't gotten really any real appreciable steady rain since almost the middle of the summer. So as a result, most of the state, including here in the Burlington area, we're seeing some abnormally dry ground conditions. So a little bit of a drought, if you can believe it, is starting up right now. But as we move ahead, and I'm going to show you a little bit what our 7 days are going to be looking like. As we can see here, Friday, starting out Friday the 13th, actually some beautiful conditions out there. Just partly cloudy and temperatures about average in the mid-60s. Now, of course, as we get into Saturday and into Sunday, we may actually see a little bit more in the way of cloud cover as that cold front approaches us. And look at this by Sunday, though. Temperatures, again, way up in the upper 70s again, so well above average. But, of course, as soon as that front comes through, we're going to notice the temperatures really take a nosedive when we get towards Tuesday. But really fair skies as we head all the way through the end of the period with temperatures, look at this on Tuesday, only around 60. And, of course, some chilly mornings coming up. We may see some frost on those pumpkins out on your front doorsteps, that's for sure, in the Burlington area as we go through the next 7 days or so. But as we end out the period, look at this, temperatures again climbing back up into the mid to upper 60s. So looks like the trend is continuing that when we get to the end of the period here, we're going to see some little bit warmer weather than we should be seeing here in October. But folks, get out there, enjoy this beautiful October weather that we're going to have, and have a great week.
I'm Maddie Shipka, and this is your community calendar. Do you want to learn how to make some delicious Greek cuisine? On Thursday, October 19th at 7 p.m., the Burlington Public Library will be having Sophia Skapetos of Sophia's Pantry in Belmont, who will be making and demonstrating dishes such as salmon bites, Greek meatballs, spinach pies, and more. Everyone is welcome and the event is free. Light refreshments will be served. For more information about the event, visit burlington.org or call 781-270-1690. Chili today, hot tamale. On Saturday, October 21st, from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. at the Burlington Presbyterian Church, the Simon's Masonic Lodge and Masonic Lodge Open House will be having a Best of Burlington Chili Cook-Off. Come try some delicious chili made from locals. Admissions for the cook-off are $5 for adults and kids and seniors are $3. For entries and more information, please call 978-314-9564. Get a meal and help a local organization. On October 29th, from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m., the Friends of the Burlington Dog Park will be having a fundraiser at the Dockside Restaurant in Wakefield. Come grab a bite to eat at the Dockside, where 25% of your meals will help benefit the Friends of the Burlington Dog Park. Everyone is welcome. For more information and to print your voucher, visit the dog park website at burlingtondogpark.com. I'm Maddie Shipka, and this is your community calendar.
Thank you, Peter, and thank you, Maddie. Burlington High School is well into the fall sports season. For all the latest Red Devils news, we go now to BNEWS sports reporter Matt DiMarzio for this week's sports report.
Hey everyone, this is Matt DiMarzio here with your weekly sports report. It's the home stretch of the fall sports season for teams at Burlington High, and there's plenty of drama unfolding on the fields. The boys cross-country team had a chance at a Middlesex League title, but lost a recent meet with Wakefield that was a showdown of undefeated teams. Rashid Prakash continued his amazing season for the Red Devils, finishing as the overall winner and beating the second-place runner from Wakefield by 46 seconds. That's enough time for Rashid Prakash to drink a couple of cups of water before the next guy finished. What a year he's having. The boys soccer team continues to battle for a spot in the state tournament. Despite a pair of losses in recent play, the Devils were 6-6 after 12 matches and showed plenty of fight in 1-0 defeats to Arlington and Lexington, the two top teams in the league's Liberty Division. The boys play a home match on Friday against Northeast Tech of Wakefield at Brush Field at 3:45. It's a big week on the horizon for the golf team. The Red Devils are once again in the thick of the race for the Middlesex League's Freedom Division Championship, and battles this week with Stoneham and Melrose will likely go a long way in determining Burlington's championship and state tournament hopes. In recent action, Burlington beat Wilmington and lost to Belmont by a 42-30 score. Against Belmont, Devil Sean Hurley shot a one par on par 35 at Belmont's home course. The news isn't great on the football field for the Red Devils as the team is still looking for its first win. But Coach Dan McKay and his staff haven't slowed down at all. Friday, the Red Devils play at Wilmington against a solid Wildcat team. Last week, Burlington lost against Wakefield. The field hockey team also had some exciting news in recent play. Although not winning, the girls played against Lexington and lost by a 1-0 score. Lexington is one of the top teams in the area. Burlington's field hockey team continues to improve. And that's all for sports. I'm Matt DiMarzio, and back to you guys in the studio.
Thank you, Matt. Another week, another photo to highlight. This week's photo proves you don't need fancy materials to make art. It was sent in by Heidi Mover and shows participants on a recent monthly Saturday morning walk at Mary Cummings Park that featured a land art activity where pieces were created by using natural materials found on site. Thanks for the photo, Heidi. We'd like to see your photos. They could be of something you see around town, the weather outside your own door, or even photos of your family members and pets. Whatever you think is interesting and would like to share. Email your photos to bcat@bcattv.org with the subject line, Photo of the Week. Well, that's it for this week's edition of BNews Weekly. I'm Linda McNamee. Have a great week. See you around town.